That's what saved that. But I wanted to touch on that topic because it covers the previous question.
Yes.
But then it moved on to solo. I mean, how to get over the fear of solo travel. Let me tell you, as with any venture, it's that first move that's the scariest. That is always the scariest. But let me tell you, once you take that first move, you look back and you're like, what was I hesitant about? What was I so scared of doing? It's like anything, even business, whatever you do, you're going to have so many doubts before you launch something. And you're thinking, will people receive it? Will they do this? And then once you do it, you're like, wait, oh my goodness, I didn't expect this kind of response, and it gives you more confidence.
Yeah.
Same thing with travel. So again, like I said, I got tired of my friend who disappointed me, that A.G.E trip that was $215. I reached out to him immediately and I told him, hey, my God, there's this trip, let's do it. He said, I'm with my family. It was Christmas Day, understandable. I'm with my family, let's do this tomorrow. This is amazing, we'll do it tomorrow. I said, okay. Next day came, guess what happened? The deal was gone because whoever made the mistake caught on to their mistake because there was an influx of people because everybody was sharing this amazing deal. They probably had over 1,000 people book it.
Wow.
And no kidding, but the next day that deal was gone. So I learned, don't wait for people. If you find that deal, book it. If that deal even stays longer, if they want to come, they will come. But when you wait on people, you'll be waiting a long time and you're setting yourself up for disappointment. So, my very first solo trip, it didn't happen intentionally. Nope. I was supposed to go to California with my coworkers. We were supposed to do a whole week in San Francisco, do the wine country tour. There was everything planned. We were very excited about this trip. I was because I wanted to go to Napa Valley for the longest.
Okay.
And a few weeks before the trip, we all bought our flights. I'm telling you, it was serious. Everybody had their flight deals. We had hotels booked. And no kidding, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before the trip, one person, maybe their spouse got ill. They couldn't go. Another one, there was just something that wasn't even an excuse. It was something they had to take care of, but I'm not kidding. From 10 people, it got down to 1. Me.
Whoa.
They all canceled their flights. And I'm sitting there worried, like, how am I going to do this? It's going to be so awkward. How do you go to one country by yourself, like to do a wine tasting? I'm going to look so lonely and miserable. Oh my God, people will be judging me. And I had all these fears. I'm like, no, I can't go. I can't go and dine by myself.
Yeah.
I had all those things, going through my head. And I almost canceled. But I had a friend who worked in Atlanta who had transferred to California. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, Ryan, my friend, he knew them. So I said, they're all canceled on me. I'm so disappointed. I still want to go, but I'm very tempted to cancel because I'm scared of traveling. And Brian was like, Sally, please do not hesitate. Come down to California. I'll be working, but I'll make sure to give you a good itinerary. I'll make sure that you're okay. I'll point you in the right direction, things to do, and you will be just fine. And I was still so nervous. I still flew to California very nervous. And I went to the hotel he worked at, so he had it all set up for me. It was just, a nice welcome, like he had the amenity, like telling me, hey, just don't be afraid, do this.
Yeah.
And that was a trip that made the whole difference because I decided to go to Alcatraz. It was one of the attractions. I mean, Al Capone was arrested there. It's just part of history. It's an incredible experience.
Yeah.
But I booked my ticket, went there. And I took the train, which is the BART. So he just told me, do this, do the other. So you kind of have to be self-reliant. But I wasn't so confident either. So I went to Alcatraz, and I remember during the tour, I was looking around, and everybody was either with friends, it was a couple, it was a family. I was solo. I was the only one solo there. And I'm thinking, this is awkward. Ooh, oh my God, this is really awkward. But I said, you know what? I'm going to fake it. I'm just going to fake like I'm so confident I'm really enjoying myself. Not that I wasn't enjoying myself. I was.
Okay.
I said, I will be just fine. So went there, just make conversations with people on the boat right before we get to, you just start talking to people. I'm not kidding. And they start trying to even get to know you. So that helped me. So I did the whole tour, was done. Then I went to have lunch at a restaurant. I was sitting at a restaurant and I'm looking over the pier. It's just beautiful, minding my business. And the service was really bad at this restaurant.
Okay.
And then I start looking around like, where's the waitress? Like, what's happening? Are you not seeing me? So as I'm looking around, one guy catches, I caught his eye and he was also like, yeah, like we were both like, what's going on? And from there we struck a conversation, and I came to find out that he was traveling by himself. No, not traveling by himself. He lives and works there, loves that city so much, and he was off that day. This is a stranger. And he told me, you know what? Since it's your first time here, let me show you around. And his energy was good. Like I never got any doubts about like, oh my God, you shouldn't trust strangers as we are raised to believe. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go with my instinct. It was the best afternoon and evening I'd spent with a stranger.
Wow.
He wasn't sleazy. He wasn't trying to hit on me. None of that. But it was so incredible. It gave me a newfound, I guess, hope for humanity. Because, we're brought up to like, lock your doors. You can't trust anybody that you don't know. Don't talk to strangers. That's
right.
How they're raised. And it's good to be cautious. But to open up to a stranger and get that experience changed me completely. So to answer your question, because I went the long way, you don't get over the fear by not doing it. You do it afraid. Do it afraid. Fake the confidence. Anybody who's traveled solo will tell you their first one was the most nerve-wracking. And once you have that down under your belt, you're like, okay, I can do the next one. So I encourage people, if you're going to do that, don't make your first trip a place that's, say, Russia, and you can speak the language.
Right.
To gain that confidence, and if you do that, more power to you, because that will be a quick lesson.
Exactly.
Right? Admirable, actually.
Yeah.
But just start small. Go to your neighboring, even if it's your town. Do a staycation in your own town by yourself. Even drive an hour outside, or even drive an hour away. Stay in that hotel. Explore it on your own. Get to meet people. That actually helps you gain more confidence. Start small. Start a place that's close to you, has the same currency, because you don't have to worry about currency exchange. They speak your language. You don't have to worry about translation.
Yeah.
So you start that way. When you're by yourself, if you haven't traveled maybe abroad before, you start there. And then you start considering, okay, we're in the US. And you could be anywhere in the world. You look around you, what's the closest country next to me? They probably speak the same language. So for us, like say there's Mexico. Yes, they speak Spanish there. But guess what? There's a lot of English that is spoken. Actually, if you're staying at a resort, they will speak your language.
Mm.
And it's closer. Like for us, Mexico, say Cancun is like 2 hours away by flight.
Right.
That's very doable. Then you can do that. And then you can start now exploring outside. But you come to realize very quickly that your fears are all in your head. And you still have to be cautious.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to be looking out for you. Don't get me wrong. There's people who want to scam you and rob and do all those things. And what they do, they tend to prey on people who, there are people who are easy prey. If you're a tourist, first of all, it's very easy to tell who a tourist is from a local because of the way, just your whole demeanor. And some people have nervous energy. If you start looking like you're afraid, like, or asking questions like, why do I go here, blah, blah, blah. And you're looking uncomfortable, they're like, easy prey right here.
Exactly.
But I will always, in the same breath, I will say, people around the world are inherently good. People are good. Majority, when we travel to cities, they're so proud to show off their cities. If you ask a question, they're so happy to like just tell you, oh my goodness, you have to go to this person, you have to do this, or my uncle owns that, or this person I know works there, or the connection is so great getting it from a local.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But you still have to be, I usually say, what should I say? Cautiously optimistic. Don't write off everybody. Don't just easily trust people. But so like my tips for that is don't tell anybody you're traveling solo.
Yeah.
Especially for females. I talk about, I'm like, there's men will try to approach me when I travel. And I'm always like, no, my boyfriend is coming. Or my husband will be here later. I actually wear a wedding, I always have like a wedding band. I'm not married, but it's supposed to kind of deter some attention. It doesn't always work, but I wear it anyway. Nothing flashy, just a band. And I'm like, I'll just say my husband is coming or my friends are coming. because that makes them know, oh, there's somebody coming, so this person is not quite easy prey. Yeah, and then you don't reveal where you're staying either. Yes, you can trust people, but you can't trust them all the way.
Exactly.
Just like in life, don't tell them what they don't need to know. But just being positive and being open-minded will lead you to a lot more amazing experiences. Locals will take you along on their stuff, like, just come with us, or my friends and I are we're going on a hike, or we're going to this thing, or we're going to this club, come join us. And when you're walking with locals, you're a lot more confident as well, because they're also looking out for you.
Exactly.
That.
I like that.
So travel can be done. It can be done safely. It really can. You can be cautious, obviously, but be open-minded as well, and trust your instincts. Your instincts will, this. Anytime you've always felt some type of way about something and there was hesitation and you didn't listen to that voice, it always comes back to bite you.
Like, hey, I thought I told you.
I had a feeling about this. And I didn't do it.
Right.
So if you ever have a feeling like this does not feel right, better safe than sorry, avoid it. You'd rather be wrong than be too comfortable and make a huge mistake. You'd rather be wrong and safe.
Exactly. Speaking of safety, what would be your number one and takeaway for the solo travel safety rule that you apply in every trip that you take?
Like I said, do not reveal you're traveling solo.
That's just answers it.
Actually, no, the main one is trust your instinct.
Okay.
That's the main, trust your instinct. It will never guide you wrong. And sometimes we have our own self-doubts.
Yeah.
We're like, even when something may be good, you still have, but you'd rather be wrong than dead. I mean, we've seen people who've traveled, even Aruba, there's a girl, an American girl who went there and got killed. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, so you don't. First of all, don't be walking like in dark, alleyways by yourself. Don't do that. Like, common sense. You'll be surprised. Common sense is not that common, but when you're by yourself, you should have that heightened. You need to be in a place that's well lit, especially if it's at night. Don't walk by yourself at night. Just avoid it.
Yeah.
And even like, say, for Uber, when I take an Uber, I will share my itinerary, because Uber is everywhere in the world. And I just learned something on Clubhouse that it's actually happened here. Like, they tell you, make sure you, like, the plates match the one you have on the app. Like, make sure. Because some will just show up, because people, especially when they live in the club, you've had a few drinks, because alcohol will do that to people. You don't make the best decisions, or it's impaired. Your decision making is impaired.
Yeah.
We walk up to a car, you're like, hey, are you here to pick up Sally? The driver will just say yes. And take you to some place if they're not the right driver. We've had that happen here too.
God forbid.
A drunk girl got into an Uber, and then they drove her around to different ATMs and took money out, and then she got killed. Yes. So yes, bad things can happen.
Man.
But at the same time, you can't just always think that bad things will always happen. They're still good people.
Right.
So what I do, I can trust you, but I don't have to trust you all the way. So when I get into the car and I verify this is the car I'm supposed to be in, I will share my itinerary. Like, you can share your ride. I share my ride even if it's somebody who's in the US and maybe I'm in Croatia. I share my ride anyway. Because you can share it, like Wi-Fi or however you can, WhatsApp. Like, I make sure someone knows where I am at all time.
Yeah.
So in my case, my best friend, I share my entire itinerary. She knows today I'm doing this kind of activity. I'm going to be with this tour company. I'm staying at this hotel. I'm doing this and that and the other. And I'm constantly updating her. She's probably watching my Instagram stories.
Right.
I'm always sharing these experiences. But in the event that I went quiet, she'll be concerned. And that's for anybody, even with your spouse, if you want to travel solo, your parents get concerned when you travel, and friends can get concerned. So in order to reassure them, especially on that first trip, that, hey, I'm okay, it's just a matter of like keeping them in the loop.
Yeah.
So that if you were to disappear, like a worst case scenario, I got into a car and disappeared, my friend has the itinerary. So at least if they were trying to find me, they can start somewhere.
Exactly.
They can start somewhere. Because can you imagine my mother in Kenya being told, we haven't seen your daughter in however long. She wouldn't even know where to begin. she will not know where to begin. So always share your itinerary with someone that you trust. And someone that you know will constantly also check on you in the event that you're probably quiet. They're like, hey, are you okay? We good? Yes. So it makes them breathe easy. You also know that someone is also looking out for you.
Yeah.
So that's a big one.
That's a big one.
The itinerary, for sure.
That's a big one. And that's a lesson learned, which is actually the next question about what lessons to learn from traveling. And it makes sense because as you trust your instinct and you know who you're trusting your information with, then you feel more alive and you feel much more confident in your travel, because you don't want to travel and start being scared. You might as well just stay home, so there's that balance.
There's a balance, you're right. Like I tell people, so you're scared of traveling but you want to, and I'm like, okay, if you never leave your couch, you'll never see this place. You'll never know that you can get over that fear.
Yeah.
So you have to do that. So that's why I love sharing this information. I tell everybody, like, come to me if you need any advice. I put that on my website, sallygeworld.com. I'm like, it's there. I haven't shared all of my destinations that I've been to because I've done so much more since I was like blogging regularly.
Yeah.
But I'm an advocate for, you have travel safely as well. Have fun. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've done all of that clubbing and all of that. It's part of the experience.
Yeah.
But be very careful. It's even ladies, I tell them, all, and men, but mostly ladies have a lot more to lose. I say, when you're out there, I don't accept drinks from strangers. That's a safety thing. I don't. And what I do for myself, because I enjoy my drink and I want to have a good time, I will drink in my Airbnb or at the hotel.
Okay.
Like a pre-game. So by the time I get to the club, I really just maybe need that one drink, which I'll purchase myself. And I'll watch them pouring the drink too.
Yeah.
Because even bartenders sometimes can be in cahoots with somebody there. And they can see something in your drink and you can get drugged. You can't leave your drink like sitting around either, unattended, because you just have to think worst case scenario, but still keeping a positive attitude.
Yeah.
It's a balance that you have to strike. So I tell ladies especially, please mind the booze. Don't be drinking like crazy, because you don't have your friends there to take care of you. Like back home, you can get drunk with your friends. Someone will take care of you. You wake up in your bed and be like, what happened last night? These things happen.
Right.
But you're sick because you're with your friends. Abroad, it's a whole different ballgame. You don't want to be doing things like that or doing anything that will jeopardize your safety or break the law. Because you can break the law and be arrested abroad, and nobody wants to be arrested abroad.
God forbid.
Nobody wants to. And some of those jails, they're not favorable to anyone. I mean, jail is not favorable, but there are jails that are better than others. And abroad, especially third world countries, that's not the place you want to get arrested in. You have to respect the local law. You have to. Yeah. But I know you were asking me about like the lessons that that travel has taught me. So travel has taught me that people, regardless of where they're from, like all of us as human beings, we want the same things, the same basic things. We want to be happy.
Yeah.
Everyone wants, the pursuit of happiness is real, and it's just part of our humanity. You want to be happy and healthy and loved, and to love and be loved and be appreciated.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure like your family members, your friends are all thriving as well. That's what makes us happy, is when we're all thriving. So it doesn't matter what society you're in. They could be a completely different religion from you, different set of values, different everything. But at bottom line is the same. They still that humanity.
Yeah. So
people are actually good. And I saw that more when I traveled, when I opened up myself to be like, wow, it's special. And then there's so many misconceptions about people. Like someone who's probably some people will have had bad experiences in France. Black people specifically, they say, French people have a certain snootiness. They can be rude. You hear a lot of racism, accusations coming up as well, and they're valid, 100% valid.
Wow.
But for me, I'm going to say, rarely have I experienced it. And I'm like, I have to ask myself, why is that? And sometimes it's the attitude that you have. So I tell people, try to learn where you're going. If I'm going to I'll give France as an example. Learn the basics. Learn how to say hello in their language. Learn how to say thank you in their language. How much? Because you'll probably be buying some souvenirs or things.
Yeah.
What time is it? Like just little basic phrases, like even thank you. When they see you actually making the effort to speak their language, they're a lot more open to you. And that's what happens to me when I'm in France. I don't experience this snootiness. I've experienced it once, and I've been there 5 times. And it was just a hotel staff member who was South African. A black South African who was extremely rude to us. Someone, if they had that experience, they're gonna just brush the paint with the paint of they're all rude and they're all mean.
Right.
And that's not the case. So I tell people, just go and have your own. Don't listen to what they say. Go see, because it will form your own opinion. Because think about it. Sometimes when we travel with people that they start getting on your nerves in a few days. They ruin your experience.
Yeah.
You could be bored. You could be sick. You could have gone through a breakup. So nothing in your environment will uplift you, because you already have something inside of you that's not going right. So you will not like a place. You could take someone to the Maldives. Can you imagine taking someone to the Maldives today and they just probably went through a breakup? Amazing destination, but because of what's going on inside of them,
wrong timing.
They will not appreciate it at all. They will hate it.
Right.
And they'll tell people, oh, I hated it. So if you believe what they say, you will deny yourself that experience. Or if they experience something bad during that trip, that was their unique situation.
Correct.
Some situations are the stereotype does stand real. Like, yes, French people, again, can be rude. They can be all those things. But that should not stop you from experiencing that place.
Yeah. I like that.
I know, like, black people, usually when they research places to go, they want to research, like, is it safe for black people? That's a huge Google search keyword. If black people travel, is it safe for black people? Because people are concerned about their safety everywhere, as they should be.
Yeah.
But just because someone had a bad experience somewhere doesn't mean that you will have the same experience too.
Yeah.
Go out there and form your own experience, for sure. So that's some of the lessons that I've come to learn the more I travel. I'm like, oh my gosh, what I read about this place didn't even match up. I had such a great experience as opposed to maybe what I kept reading about. So it's always good to share the good, the bad, and the ugly with a little disclaimer as well, like, that was my experience. Please don't let this stop you. I had a bad experience the second time I went to Bali.
Oh.
I did. Oh, yes, I did. And this is now, and I went there with friends. I went there for a retreat. It was a work retreat, not a social media retreat.
Okay.
And I went, and we were there with ladies who were all having a good time. On the last day, we decided, you know what? Let's go get massages, because massages are very cheap. In Bali, for $10, you can get an hour massage.
Wow.
You can even get an hour and a half in certain places. So these places are everywhere because labor is so cheap there. They're everywhere. Most of these places are like, they're not like the best. It's not like a swanky spa that you would find here in the US. They're kind of like, hole in the wall. But the massages are incredible. So, because I've been to Bali before, I knew that. So yeah, I went to this place with friends, and unfortunately, they were just idle. So I think they had sent away their masseuse, and there was maybe 2 people there available, the receptionist and the receptionist only. We get there, we're like, hey, we want to get some massages before our flight. There's 3 of us. And they said, oh, right now, we're kind of understaffed. We can try and get 2 other people here, but he's ready to start on someone. The guy, he was a receptionist. So like, but I can take care of someone if you're ready to. Typically, I usually request females when I get my massages, but we were like, we're pressed for time. I'm just going to go for it. And this man, I went and had the massage, and it just didn't feel right from the beginning. So this goes back to instincts.
Yeah.
Had I trusted my instincts, I would have just said, it's only $10. I wasn't losing anything. I would have been like, screw it. Because what happened is, they were supposed to get the staff for the other 2 ladies to come, 2 more people to come and work on my friends.
Yeah.
Had already been started. But it took so long that my friends came back upstairs where the massage tables were, like separated with a little curtain. And when they came in and said, hey, Sally, we can't wait any longer. We'd rather do some last minute shopping. So let's meet at the hotel. You get your massage, enjoy, we'll see you later. So they're saying this to me in the room with a guy there. And as soon as they left, I'm not kidding, this man got, I wouldn't say aggressive, but his methods started to get a little uncomfortable. And as he's massaging me, I'm laying on my back, so my face is down. And even I'm still there like, oh, this is not feeling right. I'm tense already, and he could tell I was tense because he kept asking me, are you okay? Are you okay? And I kept saying yes, like with a shaky voice, because I wasn't quite sure, like I'm okay. Maybe it's cultural, maybe, because he kept like running his hands like really up my thigh. It was uncomfortable. So bottom line, because I did blog about this, and it was a very difficult blog to actually post and publish.
Wow.
It was sexual assault. It didn't go too far. He touched me inappropriately, and I was like, oh my God. Like, this is like 30 minutes later, I'm thinking, this could have stopped before. When I just didn't feel right, I could have just stopped this. Why did I let it go so far? By giving him the benefit of the doubt. So I ran out of there. Like, I was so upset, I ran out of there. And because it happened to me, I want to share the truth about my travel experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly, again, like I said.
Yeah.
But I want people to also understand, that was a unique situation. Yes, that man is probably, is creepy. He's probably been doing that and getting away with it for a long time. But I've also had incredible massages there. Granted, they were from women, but I wouldn't advise people to just not ever have a massage again. Just because I experienced it. And again, had I trusted my instincts, I would have been long gone, but I didn't. And he knew that I was my friends were not there to defend me. It was really just me and him on the upstairs lounge that this massage was happening. Whew, it was quite something.
Wow.
Yeah, it was quite something. It bothered me for months because I blamed myself for not listening to my instincts. So it bothered me, but then it doesn't mean that you cannot travel again. Bad things will sometimes happen. They will happen. We need to have sometimes even flights get canceled. Your luggage will get misplaced. Things will happen. But having a positive attitude really, and just having perspective will change your travel experience as well.
Oh, yeah.
From being negative.
Wow. This is something you're not going to get on any Google search. You have to listen. You have to listen to this podcast, We Don't Play. And it's so amazing to hear the story, because people always see the good side, the pictures, the glam, but people don't know behind the pictures who's even taking that photo, who is looking on the side of your angles, so it's a lot to take in. And I'm actually appreciative of you to actually come here and let me know everything. And as courtesy of that, I also have something, because it's also the gift. It's a month of giving, and at the same time, it's a really nice. I mean, it's not Thanksgiving, but it's like, people are sharing gifts and everything with their loved ones. So courtesy of the website, courtesy of We Don't Play, I would definitely want to send this to you. This is a hoodie. Yes. We Don't Play. It's the same thing I have here. So this is a hoodie. And this hoodie will be sent to you as a care package with some other things. And most definitely, you're going to get something like this.
Oh, I love writing notes and journaling.
Exactly. And as you journal, you definitely want to have a cup of coffee. So we're going to send that to you. It's a color changing temperature mug. And you will definitely notice when you put hot water, it changes from, I don't want to tell you everything. Yeah.
Right, but wow, that is very generous of you. Thank you for having me, because again, it's all about sharing the knowledge that we have. And if I can save someone from making the mistake I made, my work is done.
Exactly.
Because again, like you said, travel is not always pretty. I encourage it. I'm passionate about it. But I always say, always know, just like everything, nothing is perfect. There will be a few things that won't go right, but that should not stop you either. This world is so beautiful. There's so many friends out in the world that are waiting to meet you.
Yeah.
Or just people in general that are waiting to get to know you. And also think about representation. That's another thing. There are places I've gone where I'm the only black person, or I'm the first black person someone has met in their lives, which blows my mind. I'm like, in this day and age, you've never met a black person. But there are places like that, honestly. Especially in Eastern Europe, if you go to the villages, because I lived in one of the villages for about a month. you're the first Black person they're running into. So what I say is like, you know what? You almost are carrying, it's a lot of pressure, I feel, because you're carrying the responsibility of how they will look at other Black people. So if you share a positive experience, they will treat other Black people that they come across better because of you.
Yeah.
So I always think of it that way. I'm like, I'm a representative of not only just myself, but my country, Black people in general. So how I act really will reflect on all of them in certain places. So you also have to travel responsibly.
I agree. Wow, this is special. I definitely am going to replay this and rewind, take notes, listen, and
there's more. I have plenty more. Obviously, I wrote an ebook, which is a free ebook, which is on my website, which is luxury travel on a budget. So it covers a lot more than what we've just discussed.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you the basics of where to start and how you can save your money and travel. There's so many great tips there. I know you've downloaded it, you've seen that.
Yeah.
And now solo travel is my jam, obviously. So I just but on February 16th, I'm launching the Ultimate Guide to Solo Travel.
Woo!
The Ultimate Guide to Solo Travel 16. And it's an ebook as well, because we're all going digital. But it covers so much, from like best practices, safety, how to prepare for a trip. Like I've touched on a few things, but it goes into depth.
Yeah.
Because I want someone, once they've read the book, to have the confidence of, you know what? I've read the book, I'm armed with all the knowledge I need. Let me just get over this fear. Let me do this afraid and get that one trip under my belt, and it's gonna be the beginning of your new travel life, because you'll never look back.
Definitely. Thank you so much for everything. I don't even know where to start. This has been a beautiful one, and this is going to be a 2-part series because it's so long that I think everybody should digest each episode accordingly. So we're going to have one out, of course you're listening to it today, or you're listening to it on the next day. So it's going to take over the whole weekend, and I definitely look forward to hearing what people have to say. Go check out SallyGworld.com too. Amazing pictures.
SallyGworld.com is my name. So Sally, Sally, G for my last name, which is Gachunji. So it's Sally G World. Because this world that we're living in is so beautiful that people need to see, outside of the television screens, which would be great for inspiration, even Instagram as well. But go check out my website. And my last piece of advice that I would give is, well, Instagram is amazing and everybody is now on their hunt for the perfect Instagram picture and an Instagrammable feed. You know what? A lot of the stuff, the best parts happen outside of Instagram.
Yeah.
My best travel experiences happen outside of social media. Like, put that phone away. Put it away and just truly experience a place. It's very hard to do in this day and age.
That's true.
Very guilty. But I'm telling you, like, sometimes I learned this. Like, I would come back home and I'm watching, like, say, Snapchat and I'm seeing somebody, like, I'm watching Snapchat. I'm like, oh, that's so weird. Then I see somebody behind me that was probably maybe trying to say hi, or there was something so interesting happening around me. I didn't catch it because I was so busy trying to capture at a different moment. And I'm now catching the things that happen when I'm home. And I could have probably just stopped and said hello to that person. Maybe smile back at that baby who was smiling at me that I completely missed.
Can you imagine?
So don't always leave on the phone. And yes, trust me, people are vain. We want the good photos on Instagram. I want them too, 100%. But don't get so caught up in finding that or going to the places that your Instagram, people that you look up to, that you neglect other places that are also just as incredible.
Yeah.
Or you travel so fast through countries just so you can say, oh my God, I've been to 70 countries, because you just want to check things off and you never truly experience that place. You just got a photo.
Exactly.
But did you meet the people? Do you know what the country situation is like? Do you know anything outside of what you've read on the blogs?
Exactly.
So yes.
Definitely. These are tips.
Live in the moment. Live in the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This is great. This is so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I I can't wait to hear this when it's posted and just talk about it some more. And again, if anybody's listening to this, reach out to me. I respond to all my DMs on Instagram. I truly do.
How can they reach out to you on Instagram or Twitter?
So I'm not as active on Twitter, but on all social media platforms, I have the same handle.
Okay.
So my handle, so I'm Miss MS. So it's Miss Sally, Sally, N for Nancy, which is my middle initial, so NG. So at Miss Sally NG. Feel free to reach out to me, DM me with questions. I'm happy to answer them. I respond to everyone, unless it's inappropriate, obviously. But if anybody's seeking information, if I don't have it, I will direct you I'll point you in the right direction. But I enjoy sharing this information so people know what's going on.
Me too. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm so glad we connected.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Shout out to Clubhouse once again.
It's such a great platform. If people are not on there yet, it really is great.
Yeah.
You really get caught up and stay on there for more hours.
Exactly. That's true. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining the Playroom once again.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.